Hey, what's going on? David Alderman, part two, the value of art. And I'm certainly not an appraiser and not of art, but it's probably the value of how I see my art. And I think a way to start this is if you were to hire somebody to work on your house, say a plumber or an electrician, we may want to know, their experience, right? How long have they been doing this, right? And you might want to ask them, how much do they charge an hour? Or per call out or whatever. We'll just say, an hourly fee. And you might negotiate parts. Are parts included? No. So you might have some parts. And you probably will ask them how long is it going to take, so you kind of have a reference. So, you'd want an estimate on all that. Okay. Now, art is different, because it's what people like, and sometimes how they value art is mind-blowing, and nobody understands it except for the people that are willing to pay the money for it. But this gives us, I'm not collected in museums, and I don't have wealthy people knocking on my door trying to buy art for $20 million. That's just the way it is, right? But anyway, this is a good way of pointing a reference. So if you were to say the value of what my experience, okay, I have sketches from 1978. All right? That's how long I've been doing art. And I'll post some of those on my website too. And I have been doing my current work for about 10 years now. So I have been 10 years full time. Okay? Now, if the plumber and electrician, if we look that up, if you call a company, it varies, but they're going to get about $100 an hour. Okay? All right. I should be able, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm a professional, and I qualify. One of the things that qualify art is it done professionally, and is it unique? And I will talk about my art being unique. Okay? But also, it's the same thing when somebody comes up and tries to tell you their service, they're going to tell you why they're better than the other guy, what they're going to do for you. And that's their company's uniqueness. And if you identify with them, then you hire them. As an artist, are you unique? And what I do is a Western Cubism is really what I focus on. And I'm strictly a Cubist artist now. And what I'm doing is very, very unique. And if you want to go check it out, just go look at other Western Cubists. Google it, right? If you still use Google. So the other thing that I do when we're talking about parts, in art, you could have, your canvas. But what I do is I have these panels made, and I have a video on the guy that makes my panels. But they're wooden panels. They're not canvas. That's just my preference. And then no matter what, where you go at environment, they're not going to warp, and you don't have to have them restretched. And I just like the feel of it. It's I don't know. I like it. So I have these panels made, and then, you know, they're expensive. And then I have 300-pound watercolor paper I cut it, and then I glue it down onto the panels. And then, of course, I have the paint, you know, I have the panels, the paper, all right, and the paint. You know, those are the big things I have. And then I have the finish that I put on the piece. Okay? So I have the experience, you know, artist since 1978. Let's just use a reference of $100 an hour, because I think I should make as much as a plumber or an electrician. And here's my parts, and I can give you an estimate about what that is, because on a 40 by 60 piece of art, it's going to take me about 200 to 250 hours of time on that piece. Now, a lot of production artists and people that make a great living in art will tell me that I'm crazy for spending this much time and I need to be faster, but I don't enjoy it when I do it. So I don't feel the same, and the art's not the same when I produce it like that. So that's what it is. So 40 by 60 is going to take 200 to 250 hours, okay? And if I multiply that times $100 an hour, then I take the panels, paper, paint, and finish. That is like a hard, that's like a hard cost. So when we negotiate the money that you've made, the value of that money, and we're negotiating a price, this is how I come up with it. I don't spend, 2 hours on, a $30 canvas and then ask, a high price, what I think is a relatively high price for the artwork I produce. Okay. So this is my value. Another way of doing this is we take, a lot of artists will go by the square inch. So a 40 by 60, right? 2,400 square inches, right? And you multiply that by, if you're a pretty established artist, you should be getting $5 a square or $6, okay? And you multiply that, and that's going to give you your price. So you can either go by the hour or we can go by the square inch. But that's kind of like the basis of how I bring, I spend the time, here's the piece. Now, as what's happened is, back to the original work that we talked about, the demand for my work is more than my supply. So I have one original as of today, and this is May 2024. And I've sold all my other original Cubist pieces except for this one piece. And so my demand has gone up, and I haven't doubled any of this value here. But I, instead of, I'm thinking about increasing the square inch. And the reason for that is because I can do more, and I can be a better artist and produce a better piece. So when you have it in your home, it's just all around a better piece of art. Unfortunately, a lot of times art doesn't increase until the artist has passed away. But if you have a piece that an original piece of mine and it is a scarce asset, then that value that you spent automatically is going to be worth more as I sell more. But if something were to happen and there would be no more pieces produced by David Aldrin, Western Cubist artwork, and that art would be more valuable. So, this takes a lot, and I'm very confident about what I'm doing because, you know, a lot of artists won't come out and say this, you know, and when you sell art, it's supposed to, you know, it's like, how would you know as a consumer unless you're a true collector? And if you can become a good collector, it takes time, but I want to make it this to me this is affordable, and it's a big piece of art, and I want to be able to put it in a home, and I want you and your family and everybody else that's around this art in your home, that they receive the benefits of having art. And there's some videos I want to post. You know, I think I really love Jordan Peterson, and you know, I don't agree with everything, but for the most part, he makes me think about things, and I have some great art videos that some collectors talk about. But that's you know, once you get into that level, you know, you're probably going to be buying through a gallery, and you know, it's not going to be $10,000 or $20,000. It's going to probably be in the 50,000 to, you know, whatever, $1 million. So I guess this is the, you know, kind of how I base my value. So when you know how hard do you negotiate with your plumber and your electrician? Because you need art in your life just like you need water and electricity. All right? So I don't mind, you know, negotiating, but how far. I mean, I produce art and I've spent 200 hours, and somebody liked the art, and they can't understand how I come up, you know, with my price. So anyway, I hope that makes sense, and I hope I didn't offend anybody, but at least you know how I work, and we're good. So peace out.